rap is not set to the Empire State of Mind, just the chorus. All right. In the late 1700s, in a country called France, most of the citizens weren't given a chance to have their rights, freedoms, and their liberty because of an absolute monarch by the name of Louis. Now, French society was divided into estates times 3, and on top, close to God, were the clergy, and the nobles made up the state number 2. In terms of population, they only numbered a few. And the worst of all, there is no debate, was the 97% of the third estate. Now, France was in an economic crisis, so Louis called the Estates General together to try and right this. At this meeting, each estate got only one vote, which upset the third estate, so they decided to bolt to an indoor tennis court where they took an oath. Wrote Dormac, inspired by ideas of the Enlightenment. For King Louis, this definitely frightened him, so he called upon all his guards to attack, which caused the National Assembly to react. They need to arm themselves for real, so they went ahead and stormed the Bastille. This marks the beginning of the revolution. To give rights to the people was their solution. It's the French Revolution, where society was made up of 3 estates and life wasn't too great. Now there's a revolution, where you better be headstrong or the guillotine will do harm in the revolution. Soon after, King Louis loses most of his power, looks to escape to Austria in his final hour. Treason he gets because he tried to fled. To the guillotine he goes where he loses his head. Next up comes Marie Antoinette, his wife. Let's just say she'll never get ahead in life, which leads Robespierre to take the lead. All those that question him, they're gonna bleed. And this is known as the Reign of Terror, but for the citizens, life wasn't much fair. So Robespierre, like Louis and Marie, meets a similar fate because the guillotine and him have a date. Now France is back where it began. People have no power, no rights, and no one to rule the land. But what's that knocking on the door? It's a solution. Here, because you know you're in the French Revolution. There's the Reign of Terror led by Maximilien Robespierre. That's the revolution. And Napoleon takes over and becomes the emperor here in the French Revolution. To stabilize France, a leader was sought, so Napoleon came with his coup d'etat. They say he was short and that he had a temper, wanted more power, so he named himself emperor, made a lot of reforms that were bold, gave rights to all in his Napoleonic code, fixed the taxes in France's economy. When it came to war, no one was as strong as he, which made him take over lots of land. Looked to blockade Britain as his next plan. This failed, so did his war with Spain, onto Russia, whose land he hoped to gain. But Russia gave Napoleon all of his worth as they employed the tactic of the scorched earth. So Napoleon retreated, then soon gets defeated, and now Napoleon is no longer smiling because he gets exiled to Elba Island. Luckily, he was able to soon escape, and back to France he goes to rule the place. Napoleon looks to reconquer his lost territory, so an army is raised, and this time in power is known as his 100 days. Unfortunately, he gets beat at the Battle of Waterloo, and this time Napoleon is finally through. The country has learned from their previous mistakes, so they get a little Mina and exile him to the island of St. Helena. With so much political confusion, with so much political change, it caused confusion, and this marks the end of the French Revolution. Where Napoleon takes charge and France becomes large during the French Revolution. Then here's the end. One hand in your jacket for France, where the third estate rode up and took a stance. No time period could ever compare. Put your hand in the jacket, everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. In the French Revolution. That's all I got, guys.